Every single morning, life hands you a blank canvas, and most people start painting with the same broken brush from yesterday, the same fears, the same regrets, the same limitations. But let me tell you something, you were not created to repeat history, you were born to make it. And it starts the moment you open your eyes. There are 7 lines, 7 declarations of life and leadership that, when spoken daily, don't just inspire you, they transform you. Because your life doesn't change when your situation changes. Your life changes when your mindset changes. Say these 7 lines every morning and watch what begins to shift around you and within you. I was born with purpose, and today I walk in it. I was born with purpose, and today I walk in it. This is not just a phrase. It's not something nice to post on your wall or put in your bio. This is a declaration that cancels out every lie you've ever believed about being random, unwanted, or insignificant. You are not an accident. You are not a coincidence. You are not here just to survive until the weekend or make it to retirement. You were born with an assignment, with a call, with a reason for breathing that is bigger than bills, bigger than routine, bigger than the opinions of people who don't even know your story. Every morning when you say these words, you are rejecting the ordinary. You are stepping into identity. Because when you don't know your purpose, you'll settle for anything. You'll drift from job to job, relationship to relationship, opportunity to opportunity, hoping something will finally feel right. But when you walk in purpose, you stop searching for identity in temporary places. You know who you are. And because you know who you are, you know what you're not. You were born with purpose. And that means your life is not a reaction. It's a response. You don't wait to see what life throws at you and then figure it out. You wake up and declare your direction. You wake up and tell the day what it's about to become. That's purpose in motion. It's the difference between living and existing. People ask, how do I find my purpose? But purpose isn't found in a day. Purpose is revealed through discipline. It's when you commit to excellence in the small things. It's when you show up even when no one's watching. It's when you pour your heart into the task that everyone else overlooked. That's where your gift begins to whisper back to you. That's where clarity is born. Your purpose is never discovered in the comfort zone. It shows up when you move in faith, when you take the risk, when you say yes to something that scares you but grows you. Think about the seed of a tree. That seed was born with purpose. Its DNA already knew it would become something powerful. But it doesn't grow in the light. It grows in the dirt. It grows in the dark. It grows when no one is cheering. Some of you are in that dark place right now, wondering if anything is happening. But that dark season is not your death. It's your development. You are not buried. You are planted. So when you wake up and say, I was born with purpose, and today I walk in it, what you're doing is reminding your spirit that this moment matters. That even if today looks like routine, it's still part of the reason you're here. Every meeting, every conversation, every challenge is part of the blueprint. There's a trap people fall into. They wait for purpose to feel big. They think walking in purpose means being on stage, being famous, being known. But purpose is not about applause. It's about alignment. It's when your actions match your assignment. When a mother wakes up to raise her children with wisdom and love, that's purpose. When a teacher shows up for students who have given up on themselves, that's purpose. When a creator stays up late building something that doesn't exist yet, that's purpose. And when you commit to walking in your purpose, you start to find fulfillment in places you used to overlook. But here's the challenge. Walking in purpose will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It will cost you your old identity, because you can't walk in destiny and stay addicted to the opinions of people who never saw your value. You will lose some things on the way. But hear this, anything you lose while walking in purpose was never built to stay. Let it go. Release it. Don't cling to what can't carry your next level. Purpose is not about perfection, it's about progression. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan written in stone. What you need is the courage to take the next step, the next right step. That's where purpose lives, not in the distant future, but in today's obedience. You might be listening to this thinking, but I made too many mistakes. I wasted too much time. I messed up too bad. Let me speak directly to that lie. Nothing you've done can cancel what's in you. You can't ruin what God already wrote into your design. You may have been detoured, but you are not disqualified. Purpose is patient. Purpose waits for you to wake up. And today, this morning, is your moment, not tomorrow. Not when you have more money, not when you feel more confident. Right now. So when you say, I was born with purpose, you're not just encouraging yourself, you're igniting a fire. And when you follow it up with, today I walk in it, you are telling fear to get out of the way. You are telling distraction to step aside. You are telling your old self, the one who settled, the one who played small, that their time is up. You're not waiting on motivation. You're moving in mission. You're not asking for permission. You're walking in position, because this is what you were born for, not just to exist, but to matter. Not just to breathe, but to build. not just to live, but to lead. And the moment you believe it, you start becoming it. That's when everything changes, not outside you, but inside you. Because once you see yourself through the lens of purpose, you will never again tolerate a life that doesn't reflect it. I am the CEO of my mindset, and I run it with discipline. I am the CEO of my mindset, and I run it with discipline. Every day when you wake up, your mind is either your most powerful ally or your most dangerous enemy. It doesn't matter how much talent you've got, how many degrees you've earned, or how many people clap for you. If your mindset is chaotic, your life will follow that chaos. That's why this declaration is not a suggestion, it's a decision. You are the CEO of your mindset. That means you don't let just any thought walk through the door. You don't let anxiety run the meeting. You don't let fear lead the project. You sit at the head of the table and you make executive decisions about what stays and what goes. Most people live life like employees of their emotions. They clock in every morning and let circumstances hand them a script. You're tired. You're not good enough. Why even try? But you're not an employee in this building. You're the architect, the visionary. You don't take orders from fear. You give direction to your future. You don't just react to the world. You respond from a place of clarity and control. And make no mistake, this kind of mental authority doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from discipline. Just like a CEO has to review reports, make hard calls, and stay focused under pressure, you have to train your mind daily. Because if you don't run your mind will run you straight into anxiety, straight into procrastination, straight into regret. Think about how a company runs. If the CEO never checks in, doesn't review performance, doesn't fire what's toxic, that company fails. And that's what happens to people who don't take authority over their mindset. They start letting every doubt sit at the table. They entertain every criticism like it's a strategy session. They let the fear of failure run the entire operation. You cannot build success with a boardroom full of mental sabotage. It doesn't work. You have to be intentional. That means you get up in the morning and don't just grab your phone, scroll through someone else's life, and compare yourself to their highlight reel. No, you sit down and say to yourself, what kind of life am I building today? What kind of leader do I need to be for my future? What thoughts do I need to promote? And which ones do I need to fire immediately? You have to fire the voice that says, I'll never make it. Fire it. You have to promote the thought that says, I have the power to shift this moment. That's the thought that gets results. That's the kind of belief that creates momentum. Just like in business, it's not the loudest voice in the room that wins, it's the most strategic one. Your strategy starts with focus, with intention, with boundaries. Let me give you a real-world example. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. Every day they get up with purpose. They don't eat what everyone else eats. They don't sleep in. They don't skip workouts because they don't feel like it. They are locked in. Why? Because their vision is clear. That's how your mindset has to be managed. Your future is your Olympics. You don't get to scroll all day, doubt yourself all night, and then complain about not seeing progress. No, you discipline your mind to match the level of your destiny. You control what you consume. You stop replaying old failures and start visualizing future victories. Because guess what? Your mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. That's why when you replay pain, your body feels it all over again. But when you visualize success with clarity, your brain starts building that path in the background. Your thoughts aren't just feelings, they're blueprints. They are setting the stage for what your life is allowed to produce. So if you're the CEO, you better make sure your mental office is running tight. Some people hear this and think it sounds extreme, but look around. What's really extreme is watching people waste years of their life stuck in patterns they could have broken if they just changed their thinking. What's extreme is settling for survival when you were designed to lead. Discipline is not a burden, it's your breakthrough. And when you start treating your mind like a business that must grow, that must scale, that must evolve, your results will follow. Being the CEO of your mindset means you don't let circumstances tell you who you are. It means you don't wait for motivation, you create it. It means you sit yourself down and say, we're not quitting today. We're not breaking down today. We're not spiraling into doubt. Not today. You run the show. You determine the pace. You choose the standard. That's what separates those who wish from those who win. That's what transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. And it all starts with this one decision. I am the CEO of my mindset, and I run it with discipline. I will not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. I will not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. That single line can save your future, your peace, your relationships, your dreams, and even your destiny, because what you feel in the moment is not always the truth. It's a snapshot, not the full story. And when you make permanent decisions based on a temporary emotion, you end up building a life that doesn't reflect your potential, only your pain. Emotions are powerful, but they are not designed to lead you. They are indicators, not instructors. They're meant to inform you, not control you. Think about how many people have walked away from something beautiful because of one bad day. Think about how many dreams died in a moment of anger. How many friendships were ruined by a single misunderstanding? How many businesses were abandoned after one failed attempt? That's what happens when emotion overrides vision. Emotions scream in the now, but purpose whispers through time. You've got to learn how to feel everything and still choose your direction. You can be angry, but still move in wisdom. You can be disappointed, but still speak with maturity. You can be scared, but still walk forward. Because leaders are not those who don't feel. They're the ones who don't let feelings make the final call. Let me tell you something real. Emotional decisions are expensive. You may not feel the cost today, but you will pay for them in peace, in time, and in progress. It's like throwing away a diamond because it was covered in dirt. Just because your vision is blurry today doesn't mean your future stopped shining. And when you decide based on the blur instead of waiting for clarity, you lose what was meant for you. I've seen people quit a job because they had one rough conversation, not realizing that discomfort was part of the growth they prayed for. I've watched people sabotage relationships because of their mood that day, not knowing that love requires maturity, not just chemistry. I've seen people give up on their calling because they didn't feel motivated, forgetting that purpose isn't based on feelings, it's built on discipline. You can't live your life by the waves of emotion. One moment you're up, the next you're down, and before you know it, your entire direction is being tossed around by how you feel. That's not living, that's surviving. And you weren't born to survive, you were born to lead. But leadership starts with emotional discipline. The moment you realize that how you feel is real, but not always right, is the moment you start to gain power. Because every feeling has a message, but not every message deserves a microphone. Just because fear shows up doesn't mean it gets to speak. Just because sadness knocks doesn't mean it gets to stay. You've got to create a system in your mind that allows you to process what you feel without becoming what you feel. There's a difference. Imagine being in a storm. The wind is loud, the rain is relentless, visibility is low. Would you build a house in that storm?
No.
You'd wait it out. You'd take shelter. You'd hold tight until the sky clears. That's how emotions work. They come in fast, they feel intense. But if you build in the middle of that storm, if you start quitting things, burning bridges, writing people off, you're building on temporary instability, and what's built in chaos usually collapses in clarity. This is where emotional intelligence becomes your superpower. You've got to learn the art of the pause, the moment where you breathe before you speak, the second you check in with your values before reacting, the space between the trigger and your response. That's where wisdom lives. That's where the best decisions are born. Not in rage, not in panic, not in heartbreak, but in reflection. Take relationships, for example. You get into an argument, emotions rise, you want to lash out, prove your point, walk away. But when you pause, when you hold space, when you recognize that what you're feeling in that moment is loud but not lasting, you respond differently. You speak life instead of death. You heal instead of hurt. You build instead of break. The same goes for your dreams. There will be days when you feel like it's not working, days when doubt hits like a wall. And if you make a decision in that valley, if you say, I'm done, in that low place, you rob yourself of the victory that was waiting just on the other side of persistence. Your future doesn't need your mood, it needs your commitment. It needs your ability to say, I feel tired, but I'm still showing up. I feel discouraged, but I'm not quitting. That's where champions are made, not in the highs, but in the consistency between the highs. So every morning when you declare this line, I will not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions, you're stepping into power. You're telling your inner world that you run this, that you don't bow to chaos, that your values, your vision, and your wisdom sit at the decision-making table, not your mood. And once that becomes your standard, your life will stop looking like a reaction and start looking like a masterpiece. I attract what I believe, not what I want. I attract what I believe, not what I want. This single truth has the power to shift the entire trajectory of your life. Most people spend their days speaking about what they want, writing down goals, visualizing dreams, and praying for breakthroughs, but deep down, they don't believe it's possible for them. And that's where the disconnection begins. Because life doesn't respond to wishful thinking, it responds to belief. Not the kind of belief you post about online, the kind of belief that shapes your habits, directs your choices, and creates an atmosphere around you that even life can't ignore. Wanting success is not enough. Wanting peace is not enough. Wanting abundance, love, purpose, all of that is not enough if what you truly believe is that you're unworthy of having it. If you believe you're always overlooked, guess what? You'll unconsciously filter every opportunity through that belief. You'll walk into rooms already shrinking yourself. You'll avoid the stage, avoid the spotlight, avoid speaking up, not because you don't have the talent, because your belief system told you that visibility is not for you. That's how powerful belief is. It either builds the bridge to your next level or it becomes the wall that keeps you locked in cycles. What you believe shows up in your energy before you say a single word. It shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you walk into a meeting, in how you respond to challenges, and how you recover after rejection. You cannot fake belief for long. Eventually, the truth of how you see yourself will expose itself in how you live. Let's take a real life example. Think about someone who believes they are a great speaker, not just someone who wants to speak, but truly believes in their gift. They walk into every room with a quiet confidence. They prepare like they're going to impact nations. They say yes to opportunities most people run from. And even if they mess up, they don't collapse. Why? Because belief holds them up. On the other hand, take someone who wants to speak but deep down thinks, no one will listen to me. That person will hesitate, they'll overthink, they'll sabotage, they'll shrink when the mic is passed their way. Not because they don't have the ability, but because their belief blocked the manifestation. You see this in relationships too. A person can desire love, dream about marriage, talk about wanting someone loyal and stable. But if they believe all love ends in betrayal, or that they're not lovable, or that they always get left, that belief will sabotage every healthy connection that comes their way. They'll either chase unavailable people or push away good ones. Not because they don't want love, but because they don't believe they deserve the kind of love they truly need. And let's be honest, we've all been there. We've all said we wanted something while secretly doubting it could ever happen for us. We've looked at our bank accounts and said, I want financial freedom, while believing that success is for other people. We've looked in the mirror and said, I want to feel confident, while carrying beliefs rooted in years of shame, comparison, and criticism. And that's where frustration grows, when the desire in your mouth is disconnected from the belief in your heart. But here's the truth, belief is not just a feeling. It's a decision. You have to choose to believe, even when the evidence isn't there yet, even when the results are delayed, even when you feel like an imposter in your own dream. Belief isn't about pretending you have it all figured out. It's about choosing to act like it's already yours until your life catches up with your faith. Think about the greatest innovators, leaders, creators, game changers. They didn't wait for the world to validate them before they moved. They moved first, they believed first, and that belief made them consistent. That belief made them disciplined. That belief pushed them to show up on days they felt invisible. Because when you believe, effort becomes a natural expression. You stop needing motivation every morning. You stop chasing validation. You move from a place of authority. And that's the difference between desire and destiny. Desire says, I hope it happens. Belief says, I'm preparing for it like it's already done. Desire says, maybe one day. Belief says, today is the day I align myself with what I expect. And when you truly believe something, it begins to show in your posture, in your routine, in your vocabulary. You stop saying, and start saying, win. You stop settling for survival, and you start designing your life with intention. Even science backs this up. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to your wants. It responds to your dominant beliefs. That's why affirmations aren't magic unless they are reinforced by inner conviction. You can repeat something 1,000 times, but if your core belief contradicts it, your life will reflect the belief, not the words. So the work is not just in what you say, it's in what you believe when you say it. It's in training your mind daily to believe bigger, deeper, stronger than the evidence in front of you. You don't attract what you wish for. You don't attract what sounds good. You attract what you believe you are worthy of. What you believe is possible, what you believe you were born to experience. Your life is a mirror of your inner convictions. So when you start elevating those beliefs, not just changing your words, but transforming your mindset, everything around you begins to shift. Doors open, people show up, resources align, because the universe is not responding to your wants, it's responding to your belief. I am surrounded by favor and I walk in expectancy. I am surrounded by favor and I walk in expectancy. Let that settle in your spirit, because this isn't just a feel-good line to repeat in the mirror. This is a declaration that changes how you carry yourself, how you face adversity, and how you show up in rooms you never thought you'd enter. When you begin to live with the mindset that favor is not just an occasional visitor, but a constant companion, everything about your day changes. You stop waking up with dread and start rising with anticipation. You stop begging life to be kind to you and start expecting it to unfold in your favor. Favor is not luck. It's not coincidence. It's alignment. It's living in such a way that doors recognize you. It's when people mention your name in rooms you've never entered. It's when what should have taken 10 years happens in 2. It's when opposition comes, but somehow things still work out for your good. That's favor. And it doesn't come to the one who complains the most. It doesn't visit the one who waits passively. It surrounds the one who expects it. Expectation is the soil where miracles grow. What you expect, you prepare for. And what you prepare for, you start to attract. That's why people who walk in expectancy are always ready. They don't let life catch them sleeping. They move like the thing they're believing for is already in motion. They talk like the deal is already closing. They train like the opportunity is already booked. They walk into the day as if life has something with their name on it, and it does. Let's break this down with a real life example. Have you ever seen someone walk into a job interview already defeated? They show up, but they're dragging their feet, their posture is slumped, their words are hesitant. You can tell they don't believe anything good is coming. And guess what? Even if they have the skill, the attitude cancels it out. On the flip side, someone walks in with expectancy, not arrogance, but confidence. Shoulders back, eyes focused, energy vibrant. They're not hoping for favor, they're aligned with it. That energy speaks before they do. It changes the atmosphere. That's the power of expectation. And when you live with the mindset that you are surrounded by favor, not just visited by it once in a while, you begin to interpret life differently. Challenges don't shake you as much because you know favor surrounds you like a shield. You stop questioning every setback because you trust that even the delay is working for your development. You stop seeking approval from everyone because you understand favor on your life will frustrate people who can't understand your journey. And that's okay. When favor surrounds you, you'll walk into places unqualified and still be chosen. You'll speak ideas others doubted and watch them come alive. You'll take risks that seem irrational to the crowd. But favor has a way of creating results that logic can't predict. But here's the key: you have to walk in expectancy. That means you don't just think good things might happen. You expect them to. Every morning you step into the day saying, something good is chasing me. The right people are looking for me. My name is being spoken in places I haven't even imagined yet. You have to train your mind to see life through the lens of favor. That means when you're in traffic, instead of losing your mind, you say, maybe I was delayed for protection. When someone walks out of your life unexpectedly, instead of spiraling, you say, favor is clearing space for what I truly deserve. When the opportunity closes, you don't panic. You posture yourself and say, if that door's shut, it must not have been big enough for what's about to enter. This kind of expectancy doesn't make you delusional. It makes you dangerous. Because when you believe that the unseen is working in your favor, you stop being manipulated by temporary circumstances. You stop being a slave to fear. You stop playing small to keep other people comfortable. You realize that favor doesn't mean your life will be easy. It means your life will be guided. And when life is guided, you can walk through storms with peace, walk into unknowns with boldness, and walk past critics with grace. Living in expectancy also means you prepare your life like favor is always showing up. If you're expecting abundance, you budget differently, you invest differently, you steward your resources like more is coming, because it is. If you're expecting love, you don't entertain toxicity. You elevate your standards, you become what you're believing for. If you're expecting opportunities, you keep your skills sharp, you stay ready, you build the portfolio, you rehearse the pitch, you position yourself because you understand that favor meets the prepared. And here's what happens: life starts matching your expectation. People are drawn to your energy. Situations unfold unexpectedly in your direction. What looked impossible begins to unfold with ease, not because life got easier, but because you stopped blocking favor with doubt. You stopped questioning everything. You stopped waiting for permission, and you started walking like you belong in the rooms you're dreaming about. Every single day you declare this: I am surrounded by favor and I walk in expectancy. You are programming your mind to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You're aligning your spirit to receive what your environment hasn't yet caught up with. You're speaking to the invisible and calling it into the visible. Favor is not just something you look for. It's something you carry. And when you carry favor, doors don't just open, they swing wide, because your presence is a signal that purpose has arrived. Today, I will be a solution, not a problem. Today, I will be a solution, not a problem. This declaration is more than words. It's a mindset that separates leaders from followers, builders from complainers, and visionaries from victims. When you say, I will be a solution, you are positioning yourself as someone who refuses to blend in with the crowd of critics and excuses. You are stepping into the arena of those who change atmospheres, who shift conversations, who carry answers when others only point out issues. The world is already full of problems, but the people who rise are those who decide to become the answer. Think about the environments you walk into every day: your workplace, your home, your relationships, your community. Every space has its share of tension, breakdown, confusion, inefficiency, or unmet potential. Most people walk in, observe the chaos, and either complain or withdraw. But a person who carries the mindset of a solution walks in and silently asks, how can I add value here? That one question changes everything. It unlocks innovation. It stirs creativity. It sparks influence. Because when you become the solution, you become indispensable. Look at it in a daily life context. Let's say you're in a job where the team is always behind schedule, communication is poor, and morale is low. The average person will roll their eyes. gossip in the break room, and do just enough to get by. But a solution-oriented person will identify the gaps, suggest a system, streamline a process, or volunteer to create a new workflow. They're not trying to be a superhero. They're just committed to creating impact where most people only see inconvenience. And guess what happens? Leaders notice. Doors open. Promotions come, not because of favoritism, but because solutions always rise to the top. And this goes beyond your career. In your relationships, this mindset can transform how you interact with others. Anyone can point out flaws. Anyone can highlight what's wrong. But it takes maturity to say, instead of reacting to the dysfunction, how can I contribute to the healing? If there's miscommunication, you become clarity. If there's tension, you bring calm. If there's distance, you initiate connection. That doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you respond with purpose instead of impulse. Being the solution doesn't mean you fix everything for everyone. It means you choose to elevate the space you're in rather than add to its chaos. This principle even shows up in how you handle your own challenges. You can either look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem, I'm broken, I'm stuck, or you can rise each day and say, today I will be the solution to my own setbacks. That means you stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and you start becoming the person your future self needs you to be. You stop blaming your past, and you start building from it. You stop saying, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, how can I grow from this? You take ownership, you move from victim to visionary. When you make this declaration each morning, today, I will be a solution, not a problem. You are setting your internal compass. It becomes a silent engine that drives how you approach every conversation, every decision, every opportunity. You stop asking, what can I get out of this? And start asking, what can I bring to this? That shift in posture multiplies your influence. People start seeing you as reliable, trustworthy, resourceful, and that's a reputation that opens more doors than talent alone ever could. Let's make it even more personal. Imagine you're in a friendship circle where everyone vents, but no one grows. Every week it's the same problems, the same frustrations, the same drama. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, you decide to be the one who shifts the culture. You introduce accountability. You challenge excuses. You ask better questions. You create space for healing, and maybe people resist at first. Maybe they even pull away. But over time, you'll find that people are drawn to stability. They're drawn to someone who doesn't just agree with pain, but speaks to purpose. That's what being a solution does. It lifts the standard. It sets the tone. It changes the room. It reminds everyone that problems don't define us, responses do. And the more you walk in this mindset, the more you train your brain to look for possibilities instead of problems. Even in the darkest situations, you start seeing light. Even in loss, you find lessons. Even in confusion, you create clarity. Because you've made a decision, you will not be a source of more weight in the world. You will be the hand that lifts, the voice that empowers, the mind that solves, and the spirit that leads. This isn't always easy. It takes energy to show up with a solution when your own life feels like it's unraveling. It takes strength to be a light when you feel unseen. It takes courage to lead when no one claps for you. But that's what separates those who make history from those who just watch it unfold. You've got to decide that even if no one thanks you, even if no one sees the effort, you will keep being the answer, not for applause, but because it's who you are. Because at the end of the day, when people look around in search of hope, they need to find someone who refused to add to the noise and instead brought a clear, steady solution. Let that someone be you. Let that identity guide every step you take from the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning. The version of me I'm becoming is already on the way. The version of me I'm becoming is already on the way. Let that sink in. Let those words echo in your spirit, because there is power in the idea that the person you're destined to be isn't some distant future version, but a present reality that's already unfolding. When you wake up each day, there's a part of you that's already aligned with your highest potential. It's not a dream to chase, it's a truth to embrace. It's not a future you're waiting for, but a reality that's already in motion. And you are the one who gets to walk in that destiny step by step. Think about it. How often do we get caught up in waiting? We wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right conditions to make our move. We spend so much time wishing for something to change, forgetting that the change begins within us, that the transformation we seek is already unfolding inside. The version of you who is confident, who stands in their power, who thrives in their purpose. They're not waiting around. They are being forged through the challenges you face every single day. Look at your life right now. You may not be where you want to be, but the version of you who has what you're hoping for is already in the process of being developed. This is why every setback, every disappointment, and every challenge isn't an obstacle. It's part of your transformation. It's preparing you for the greatness that is already on its way. When you go through tough times, you're not being punished, you're being shaped. The struggles you face today are the muscle building moments for the next level of your life. You cannot go higher without the resistance that strengthens you. So when life throws curveballs, instead of shrinking back, embrace the discomfort, because it's only making you stronger, wiser, and more capable of stepping into the person you are becoming. And let me tell you something, the process of becoming isn't a linear path. It's full of twists, turns, setbacks, and growth spurts. But that's the beauty of it. The journey isn't meant to be easy. It's meant to refine you, stretch you, challenge you, and push you to places you never thought you'd go. You don't get to the top by taking the easy road. You get there by confronting your fears, by overcoming doubts, and by showing up even when it seems like the odds are stacked against you. The version of you that's on the way isn't afraid to face difficulty. In fact, they run toward it because they know it's preparing them for something greater. Consider the caterpillar, for example. Before it becomes a butterfly, must first go through the process of metamorphosis. It enters the cocoon, dark, isolated, and seemingly still. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But inside, there is an incredible transformation occurring. The caterpillar's body is literally being broken down and restructured to become something entirely new. This is the process of becoming. And just like that caterpillar, your transformation is happening right now, even when it seems like you're stuck. You may be in your cocoon moment, feeling like you're not making progress. But rest assured, the version of you that is meant to fly is already in the making. It's only a matter of time before the world sees the new you emerging. And you've got to embrace that process. The version of you that's on the way isn't just waiting for external circumstances to change. It's waiting for you to tap into your inner strength, your belief, and your ability to rise. The person you are becoming is not dependent on anyone else's approval or validation. They are only waiting for you to make the decision to show up fully, to step into your power, and to stop doubting that you deserve the life you're envisioning. It doesn't matter what the world says about your potential. What matters is what you say. And you have the power to declare that the best version of yourself is already coming to fruition. Think about all the small victories you've had so far. Maybe they weren't grand, but they were steps forward. Every time you didn't give up when it got hard, you moved closer to the person you are becoming. Every time you stood tall despite fear, you became a little bit stronger. Every time you forgave yourself or someone else, you let go of the baggage that was holding you back. Every time you took a chance on yourself, you took a step closer to the greatness that's already inside you. These moments, no matter how small, are the building blocks of the future you. The person you are becoming is already equipped with everything you need. They have the courage to take risks. They have the wisdom to learn from their mistakes. They have the resilience to keep going even when the path is unclear. But that person can't emerge if you're stuck in the past, holding on to old stories and doubting what you are capable of. The person you are becoming is free from limiting beliefs. They are confident, bold, and unapologetically themselves. And the only thing standing between you and that version of yourself is the decision to stop living like you're stuck and start living like you're in the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. So every day, look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself, the version of me I'm becoming is already on the way. When you say that, you're not just affirming a future possibility, you're affirming a present reality. You're telling your mind, your body, and your spirit that you are on the path to greatness, even if the steps are small right now. You're letting the world know that you are not just a dreamer, you are a doer. The best version of you is already in motion, and nothing can stop it because it's already a part of you, just waiting to be unleashed. And the more you believe that, the more you align your actions with that truth, the faster you'll see that transformation manifest in your life. You are becoming everything you've ever dreamed of. Now, let me leave you with this thought. The journey you're on today is not just a chapter, it's the beginning of something magnificent. You are not a spectator in your own life. You are the architect, the builder, and the creator of your destiny. What you have inside of you is far greater than anything you've faced so far. The challenges, they are stepping stones, the setbacks. They're just setups for your comeback. Every obstacle that has ever stood in your way was never meant to stop you. It was only meant to strengthen you, to refine you, to prepare you for what you are about to become. I want you to understand this because it's crucial. The person you are becoming has already been written in the stars. You were born with purpose. You were born with greatness inside of you. But greatness does not come easily. It doesn't come by accident. It comes by decision. It comes when you make the conscious choice to rise above fear, above doubt, above the noise of the world. It comes when you choose to stand tall, to keep moving forward, even when the world tries to pull you back. Because here's the truth. No one can stop you unless you allow them to. No one can hold you back unless you let them. And the only person who can truly limit your potential is you. But once you unlock the belief in your heart that you are destined for more, that you are capable of more, that you are worthy of more, nothing can stand in your way. The person you are becoming is unstoppable. The version of you who was meant to soar above every limitation, above every lie that told you, you can't. that version is rising. And when you start believing that, when you start walking in the belief that you are destined for greatness, things will begin to shift in your life. Doors will begin to open. Opportunities will begin to align. The people and resources you need will come into your life like a magnetic force. But it all starts with your mindset. It starts with your belief in yourself and in the life you are creating. But don't be fooled by the overnight success stories you see around you. Those are the exceptions, not the rule. True greatness is built in the shadows. It's built when no one is watching. It's built in the quiet moments, in the daily grind, in the sacrifices that no one else sees. So, when you're putting in the work, when you're facing setbacks and challenges, don't get discouraged. Understand that those moments are shaping you into the person you need to become. They're preparing you for the life that is waiting for you. Remember this, the world doesn't owe you anything. No one owes you success, but you owe it to yourself to give your best, to pursue your dreams, and to refuse to settle for mediocrity. You owe it to yourself to stand in your power, to speak your truth, and to never apologize for wanting more from life. You are not just here to survive, you are here to thrive. You are here to make an impact. You are here to leave a legacy. And that legacy starts with the small steps you take today. It starts with the courage you show when everything seems uncertain. It starts with the resilience you display when everyone else has given up. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your choices. And I want to challenge you today, take that bold step forward. You've waited long enough. You've stayed in the shadows long enough. The world is waiting for the brilliance that only you can offer. The world is waiting for the impact that only you can make. You've got a gift inside of you, a gift that is needed now more than ever. You've got a purpose, a calling, a mission that is bigger than anything you've ever imagined. So stop playing small, stop hiding behind fear, behind doubt, behind excuses. Step into the greatness that has always been yours. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be persistent. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to take the next step. And most importantly, you have to believe not in the impossible, but in the possibilities. The possibilities that await you are endless. The future you desire is already on its way, and all you have to do is walk into it with confidence, with faith, and with the unwavering belief that you are exactly where you are meant to be. So the next time you face a challenge, remember this: you are not defined by your circumstances, you are defined by your response. You are not bound by your past, you are propelled by your future. You are destined for greatness, and nothing can stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. Keep moving forward, keep believing, keep growing, because the best version of you is already on the way, and it's time to let the world see you rise. The world is waiting for your greatness, and you are ready.